Hello, welcome. This is Kirsten Hodgins, and I am here to share with you 14 ways to awaken and amplify your intuition. For years, since 2014, I have had the privilege and honor to support thousands of students and clients in awakening to their intuitive abilities. I have a I have a divine community, divine intuitive ability. They're all here. There's thousands of them all around the world that we work together online and in person. I've done over 300 workshops, and I have accumulated so much information in terms of how to lead my clients through transforming from overriding their ego and discerning that still soft voice of their higher self, their divine, their angels, their guides, their spirit guides, ascended masters, for their own personal life, but also for supporting others as a light worker. So that's the transformation journey that I support people on. Again, I'm Kirsten Hodgins. My website is kirstenhodgins.com, so you can learn more about me. But I want to get right to it. I want to make the most out of our time in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So the very first thing that I want to share with you is that often people come to me and they are experiencing this block. It's almost like they feel like spirit is not around them. So they have this belief in separation. I just wanted to let you know that it is impossible for us to disconnect and be separate from source. And I think we all know that, especially those who are joining me today. I'm sure you all get that. But tell your ego that during the day when you're struggling to have intuitive decision-making processes, or when you're really in that place of yearning to know what your guides say or what divine has to say about a choice or options that are coming up, and we feel like there's crickets. We just don't feel anything, right? And I want to share with you that it doesn't have to be like that. It is in an instance when we just get out of our own way. And that's how I help people. I help them to unblock the function of the ego so that they can be still and they can begin to recognize all their beautiful and innate, or I should say innate, unique abilities within them. You are a child of God. You are a part of this universe. It is impossible for you not to. And everyone on this earth who's breathing, or even who has transitioned into heaven, has metaphysical senses to communicate with. So if you're new to this, there's no experience necessary. If you want to amplify your already intuitive abilities, and then join me for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And here I go. So welcome you if you're watching this live. I am so honored. Hello, I see that I have someone here, and I just wanted to get right into it. So the first and number one out of 14 ways to amplify your intuition is become conscious of what is your dominant clair. Know what your strongest current, because we're always evolving. Where are you conscious of how you receive information at this time in your development? Because when you actually go through this journey, you'll recognize some of the things that you had experienced at one time fades away, or it evolves, or it may seem like you've lost your ability, but really what's happening is you become more attuned to the subtle vibration. So often we think it has to be palpable and very visceral and physical in the room, and it doesn't. Your strongest clair is how you receive information in life. So I'm a feeler. So often when I'm watching TV, I will turn my eyes away from the television or the screen, and I take in the words that the people on TV are saying, and I feel it in my heart. I'm a feeler, and I like to listen, and I feel information through my heart. I'm an empath. And so much of the skills that I've developed and have overcome as an unhealthy empath to an empowered empath is how I can support you on this awakening to understanding the still soft voice. So the first thing, again, it's knowing your strongest clair. Are you a feeler? Are you someone who absorbs the energies of others? Are you someone who's very claircognizant? Do you take on you know and finish the words that somebody's saying, or you just have this ideas and concepts? You're a real thinker, you're analytical, right? And there's many more. There's visually clairvoyant, how you see. There's a clairaudience in terms of clear hearing, how you bring in information through your ears. Clairsentient through your body. So this is beginner. I know many of you already get this, but where are you strongest in your own life? When you become conscious of knowing where where you are confident in terms of I feel, or I see images, or I see color, or I get mental images, then that is your go-to clair as you practice to begin with. But you don't want to hang out there, because I'm going to go on to the next one. So comment if this resonates with you. I'd love to hear from you. And the second out of 14 ways in which you can amplify your intuitive abilities is notice the subtle shifts. You ever go into a room and all of a sudden you've taken on energy and you haven't even consciously been thinking about it. You just feel something before you actually can intellectualize it, right? That's one way of describing the subtle shifts. It could be that you just have a hunch or a feeling like you forget something, a little nudge from your higher self or spirit. It's like a shift, a subtle shift within you, that you just become conscious of this state. Like and what that could also mean is that you're having a thought or conversation, then all of a sudden you're feeling panicky. For instance, my subtle shifts change. Oop, the sunshine's coming in my window. We'll work around it. So basically, there have been times where I have had, maybe I'll just go over into this corner. I have had these questions pondering in my thoughts without even consciously knowing that spirit's helping and guiding me. And what ends up happening is that when I have this thought, like, oh, I wonder if this task is really important. So I start to do some work, but all of a sudden I'm feeling something in my stomach that's leading me or guiding me towards. Hold on just a second as I turn my blinds down. I don't need the blinds. Thank you. Okay, lots of sunshine all of a sudden. Okay, so yeah, subtly, if I'm pondering a question or if I'm about to do a task, but I feel off, it's because my higher conscious is saying, this is not priority. You are procrastinating. And we don't often pay attention to those subtle shifts because our ego is operating. So subtle shifts can come in many ways. It could be when you begin to, when a person calls you and you just feel an emotional shift, but you brush it off, but really you're connecting empathically with someone. Pay attention to any subtle shifts that become conscious in your physical being and your body. That is the profound way in which you are opening up to that divinity, that soul within you. And that's how you begin to really recognize divine's guidance that keeps us on track or nudges us, or even the energies that are being absorbed by us that's often maybe not useful. Okay. So that one is a beautiful and profound way to become conscious, but also to recognize that this is a divine ability, and that when you begin to acknowledge it, you begin to increase your confidence, and then you can learn how to navigate and get information from it, which is my favorite thing to support you on. So the third is simultaneous awareness. So this is actually a cool practice. So if I were to ask you to, close your eyes and experience the chair that you're sitting on or wherever you are, and then I would ask you to become aware of this is what you feel on your skin. So we're going to clear sentient using our feeling nature, right? Feeling the air and the atmosphere. That's just focusing on one clair, right? Now we're going to shift our focus, and we're going to now close our eyes, and we're going to now focus on any images, color, or just light that you can begin to become conscious of with your eyes closed. And now we're just focusing our attention on one clair, which is our clairvoyance, and just noticing anything that comes up. Right. And I could go through see, hear, feel, know, smell, taste. We could go through all of them. But what I want you to do is to find that stillness in the middle, and then simultaneously become aware. It's passive listening. It's being able to be so general with all of your senses at once. See, hear, feel, know, smell, and taste. And when we do that, we are actually calming down our mind and body. We're opening up ourselves to become heightened in our senses, our metaphysical senses. And from there, you could begin to experience divine. It's a beautiful practice. That, my friends, is great for meditation, before journaling, setting that sacred space, of course, so that only love and light is communicating with you. And the fourth one is all about your emotional guidance system. This is if you're someone who feels, if you're a feeler like I am, and I was very unhealthy empath for many years. And how I learned to navigate, I used to mute my emotions and I used to people please, right? That's because I couldn't handle all the energy. But instead, if we could overcome that fear of feeling into our emotions, they're not good or bad, not to judge them, it's just information, then you could begin to learn how to articulate emotions so profoundly, because that's a beautiful number one way in which divine communicates with us. We feel it in our beingness. Sometimes we're just overtaken by this sense of calmness that, oh, I just feel so calm right now. Sometimes it's this angelic presence, or sometimes we just feel so lit up and motivated. It's almost like Archangel Metatron's coming in and helping us to really align that mental image and getting us that fire within us for the day. So we can actually embody these energies. And with our willpower that we have, sometimes our willpower overrides those, and we often don't discern in the moment. So taking this practice and having the journey with me is all about recognizing that your emotional guidance system is a beautiful way to tap in and receive divine guidance. So I'll leave it at that, because there's a lot of information. Mind you, I did a whole retreat and a whole course on empath empowerment. And so, check my website out for that, kirstenhodgins.com. Okay, so number 5, symbols, images, color, meaning, interpretation. Okay, I packed this all into one because it's all about your third eye. It is amazing how I will get a color and I will significantly feel this higher consciousness, this claircognizance that guides me to know that meaning. I may even see an image, the strangest image sometimes pop into my mind. And with time and with inquisitive nature and being curious, you can create a dictionary, a psychic dictionary, a template that will help you to shorten the lag time on discerning it. But you must be willing to open up and practice it, and using the tools I'm going to share with you from numbers 10 to 14 to help you in regards to developing a practice. But your symbols, the images that you see in the color and interpretation often come with a claircognizance, almost like a knowing that dumps into your higher consciousness. You might even feel it in your or experience it, I should say, in your feeling nature or in your thoughts or internal dialogue. You might have a little quote that comes that gives meaning to it. I once saw a ladybug that was upside down in my third eye when I was doing a reading, and it was going down the hill for a woman. And I heard the words, "not lucky in love." It was hilarious, but I actually asked her and I said, "Oh, your angels are saying that you're not lucky in love." And she goes, "Yes, that's why I'm calling you." Right. So little images and the little words or the feelings are all a part of it. And they come so rapidly. They come so quickly. But if you're only focusing, remember we talked about in the number 2, the subtle shifts, but if you're only noticing and focusing on what you see, or you're trying to intellectualize what you see, then you're not in that beautiful balance, that internal general focusing, that passive listening, where all the beautiful ways in which divine could come through the way you feel in your body or experience divine. So that is important too. When you do get a symbol, let it teach you. Be curious. I'll leave it at that. Mind you, this is a 3-month course that I'm trying to impact. I'm trying to give you the gist of in this time together. Okay, so let's go to number 7, and that is the inner compass. This is massive. I could relate this to the dowsing rod. It's a gut knowingness. This is a fun way you can experience this. Do you ever put your name in a group? Everyone put their name on a Post-it note, and then you fold the Post-it notes in the same way so that you don't give yourself away. And then you put them in a bowl or a hat, and then you actually share them around. I've done this in workshops. It's so much fun, and it is unbelievable what can come from it. So your inner compass, the dowsing rod gut knowingness. So first, we actually get a message. We feel in our body. We all pick out randomly. Sometimes you might even get your own name, and you'll have to be able to use your inner compass, that knowingness, like like an energy that pulls you. You know, when I get lost, or if I'm looking for somebody, if I've gone shopping, I'll actually use that inner compass to guide me, and I'll just feel a pull in the direction, right? And then I just follow it, and boom, many times it's been successful. I also practice this when I'm with my family and we're waiting for a meal at a restaurant. We'll use the napkins, and then we'll exchange napkins, and we'll randomly pick one. And then we use our body to see whose name is in the napkin. It is so cool. And it's so fun. And I just feel pulled. All of a sudden, I just feel inside the room, I sense around me who it's for. That is so fun. So in the workshops, we do that. We actually give a guidance message. We get anything. We get a color, a message, a symbol, and then we just share it. And then the second part of our experience is we have to guess who in our circle the paper, the Post-it notes name is that we're holding. So that's a fun way. It's your inner compass. It's a dowsing rod and gut knowingness. Very amazing when it comes to discerning a yes and no response. Practice this. Ask a question to divine in a yes and no answer, and then feel how it comes to you. Be very open, general passive listening, being in simultaneously in all your senses, and then ask the question, and then notice in your body a yes and no. I'll leave it at that. I have so many different ways in which you can experience and awaken, but I only have a few minutes left, so let's get to it. Number 8, your chakra system, internal guidance. You know, the field of energy that we are is intuned like a grid, like a web, and it is connected to divine and all eternal souls in life, the worth, every creature we are part of. So that chakra system, that way in which our body can hold information, and it's like unopened mailboxes. My mentor taught me that years ago, and that is exactly the best way to describe it. Unanswered messages from your soul, from divine. So if you're experiencing in a question that you are meditating, or that you are opening up that space to be a service to somebody, and all of a sudden you feel something in your body, or you get an image or a thought, allow your fields of energy to show you. Often I get, for instance, sometimes if I'm in a client, I'll all of a sudden see color sparkle around the body, or I'll see energy spitting or moving around their body. That literally is our chakra system. It's telling me a lot of story. And I've been a trained empath, and over the years with psychic development and mentors, I'm a master at unveiling the function of the ego. So a lot of the times I start off with my readings by just paying attention to the physical body through my third eye, or opening my eyes and seeing a projection of how spirit is showing up, how their energy field is showing up. Chakras is, I'll leave it at this. It's an unopened messages from divine, because that is literally what is they're having all this beautiful divine support, and it's flowing to them, but they don't recognize it. And when they come to you for reading, or if you begin to open up and practice this, you'll begin to give guidance based on just experiencing like a mirror, or using your eyes, or there's so many beautiful ways. Okay, you can tell I love this topic, right? Okay, let's go into the next one. The next one is external signs and synchronicities, of course. So what if divine is trying to get us a message, you know, spirit, maybe our deceased loved ones are around when we're pondering and need help in life. And, you know, it's loving intentions. And if we're often, you know, we're asking divine for help, but we don't see any answers immediately. So what happens? Because we're not being able to listen to that subtle internal clock. We haven't discerned and articulated the emotions, the sensations in our body yet. We haven't learned that. And that's a skill. And we weren't taught that in school. Most of my upbringing in my culture environment, you know, knowing this wasn't a thing. So I am here to support you on this awakening, right? To teach you what you don't know. And if you don't know, you don't know. That's what I'm here for. But external signs is how divine will show up instead. So if you are seeking, you'll get a lot of the people who come to me. They are so yearning for divine, and divine will show up through messages, feathers, coins, birds, animals, dreams is massive, right? Or they'll have profound experience, divine intervention, or they'll have some form of external experience. And turn my cell off. Those external experiences are coming because you have been blocked from the direct communication in many ways. But I love getting signs from the universe. I love seeing when I turn to the clock and it's 4:4, 44, or 11:11, because that's my way of getting a conscious nudge about where I am hanging out. Because we're not always conscious. We're living this life, and to be plugged in and tuned into divine is impossible for the whole day. So external signs are great. So paying attention to them, but also learning how to interpret them. And I have a whole 4-week journey. It's free on my YouTube. And if you go there, you'll find my signs and synchronicities courses. And I've done it more than once. So you can take a look at all of them. They're quite fun. A lot of information, a lot of jam-packed information. So number 10, here we go. Number 10. I'll hit that again. Ask for help. That's literally, if we are asking divine for help, because often we do things alone, we're going on a journey and it's just, oh, I got this, because we're so used to being independent and we're so used to having a free will to push and struggle. So I want to let you know, all of those people out there that are like I was, never asked for help. And I had to be, I prided myself on independent. Ask for help, guys. Really. I even write in a journal to my guides and angels and divine love and light, allow me to, I am open to your support in this regard. And I talk about what's on my heart, and it's so profound. Okay. So here's the next one, automatic writing. It's a beautiful way. And I kind of just led into that one, didn't I? When you open your heart and mind with a prayer, and then you just write the question you're pondering, and then you just allow yourself to just begin to write anything that comes down, a color, maybe you're feeling something in your body, and say, what does this mean? Becomes conscious of all the subtle vibrations, become conscious of the thoughts. Sometimes when you just get into the flow, you just get into the flow and you are channeling. That is a course in its own, something that I also offer in my courses, but I want you to practice it and look it up. Okay. That's in a main way, but also listen to guided meditations. They will transcend you. They will bring you into that beautiful, calm mind and body connection. You'll begin to anchor and ground yourself so that you begin to expand and open all of your senses. It's beautiful. Have a practice with your guided meditation and listen to the ones that resonate with you on YouTube or wherever, or even my own guided meditations for intuitive awakening. Reach out to me. Okay. And number 13, lucid dreaming. Put the intentions up before you go to bed and really ask for it to be in alignment with God's will, something useful and healing, a useful healing guidance where you get to remember and recall your dreams and your communication with your divine team upon awakening. Okay, so then keep a notebook and journal, because even if you are lucid dreaming, it doesn't have to be at night. You could also go into a place where you ask a question, and then you begin to notice that divine often show up, not because it's nighttime and we're haunted. It's because that's when our brain oscillations are calm enough so that we can begin to really experience our higher consciousness, where that infinite mind, that beautiful oneness. Okay, lucid dreaming is a powerful, profound way to amplify your intuitive abilities. And the final one, divine tools. Practice any tool that brings you joy. When I was on this journey, when I started off, I was doubting and wavering in my confidence when it came to being a psychic medium. I didn't even call myself a psychic medium. I was saying spiritual coach or intuitive coach, right? And I began to study and practice since 2008 and 9 and 10 energy healing modalities. And that woke me. That really helped me to experience the energy and receive information in my body and mind. I also took up tea leaf reading, tarot, angel, and oracle cards, you name it, whatever I could. The mystery, the magic that would occur was very exciting. And I went on that journey. And eventually I did not need the tools. I was like we all are a profound link to God. These are filters. They can be limiting, the angel cards and the tea leaf reading and the tarot and stuff. They're beautiful. They're packed and profound with wisdom. But the best source is just to be with that oneness with divine. And that is what the 14 the 14 ways to awaken and amplify your intuition. I hope this spoke to you. Please reach out to me. Give me a thumbs up if this is something that you learned from. Share with me. What is your way? What are your tools? What are your tools to really practice your intuition? And if you're interested in more of these, I actually would love to support you. I've got a lot of free content on my YouTube channel and in my website, but I also have a free 9-week course. And that 9-week course is absolutely transformative. The course itself talks about, you know, the invisible world, landscape of the world, how we can begin to become conscious of those different realms and dimensions through focusing and unfocusing in general, passive listening, a lot of spiritual, esoteric wisdom as well, and also a lot of tools, how to really create, getting out of the ego and opening up to that still divine. Everything is about experientials in my live programs. We spend a little bit of time talking and having a follow-up, but we get right to the work. We have guided meditations and practice with partners. It's a boot camp of your senses, and that's why I love my program. So reach out to me if this is an interest to you, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. Have a lovely night. Bye-bye.